Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would appreciate it and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you can see it and you can purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. Today we're discussing a 2003 to 2004 limited series of 99 pieces, part of the FP Journe Ruthenium series. This 40mm platinum FP Journe Octa Calendrier is also part of the early series FP Journe brass movement watch family, a timepiece that's multiply collectible. It's also easy to wear on my 16cm circumference wrist. As you can see, the 40mm case wears true to size, only 10.6mm thick, and from lug to lug, a very reasonable 47.9mm. You can see the watch across the wrist is constrained sufficiently by its size, but also by the sharp downturned profile of its lugs. So I can recommend this watch for a wrist as small as 13.5cm circumference. The spacing between the lugs is 20mm, so you'll have access to many options in that universal size. You can also see that because of the use of semi-curved spring bars, the pivot points of the drillings, that is, the actual drilling points where the strap pivots, they're far inboard of the lug horns, meaning that the actual lug-to-lug span, for the sake of fit, is even narrower than the measurement across the case of 47.9. The strap is a later FP Journe factory component. As you can see, it features the subsequent gator on both sides, large rectangular scale in black on the top, monotone stitch, folded edge, and then small circular scale on the bottom. The result is a longer wearing strap. It also includes the later pull tab spring bars that allow the straps to be removed from the watch without any resort to tools. It's a clean way to clean the watch between the lugs and also to throw on replacement straps. There's a full white gold deployant clasp, which is a rich accessory, as FP Journe timepieces, including FP Journe platinum timepieces, generally include a pin buckle. So to get a full deployant clasp, not only is it a bit of an upscale accessory, even by the standards of the Journe brand, but it lets you know that this watch is something special indeed. The mid-case is familiar to fans of FP Journe timepieces. You have a polished bezel, caseback, and mid-case defined by the overriding lip of the caseback and the bezel itself. There's a curve and a compound curve to the lugs as they slope off to the sides, even as they tuck down and under from, I would say, the mid-case to the end of their tip, almost 90 degrees. All of high polish here. The domed profile bezel gives way to a dial of, well, you guessed it, ruthenium. There were 5 watches in the Ruthenium series made from 2003 to 2004. They included the Day and Night, the Calendrier, the Octachrono, the Res, and the Torb. And this is probably the most practical of the series. You have monotone discs for the day as well as the month, and then you have a retrograde scale for the date. And when you pull the crown out and you start playing with the quickset, you realize very quickly that this could be an engrossing time waste and a wonderful way of fidgeting during interminable meetings. You'll also note that in Journe style, you have separate dial side bolts, black polished, to hold the bezel for the hours, minutes, and seconds in place, as well as the scale for the retrograde system for the calendar. And I also want to emphasize that there is a double quickset system installed, so you can adjust the calendar in the fashion that I just demonstrated, but then you can also adjust the day of the week without adjusting the date. When you adjust the date, everything moves in sync. You can see the day of the week will cycle as part of the process. The dial is ruthenium coated, and so is the movement. This is the namesake of the Ruthenium series. The brass plates are part of the early series of FP Journe watches from 1999 to about mid-2004. If you bought an FP Journe watch, chances are you would have conventional rhodium-plated brass bridges, as you'll find on most modern watches. Well, here you have a ruthenium coat, and this was sort of a bridge, this Ruthenium series, between the original brass movement ruthenium coated, or I should say rhodium plated watches, and the later solid 18-karat rose gold. So the brass with ruthenium is a rare combination, and it's an exquisite combination that you'll find on only 495 FP Journe watches. You have the golden winding mass, and this is, I believe, still equipped with its early production bidirectional winding system. Some of these get retrofit at the factory, but this seems to have the original bidirectional wind. Now the watch is rated to 120 hours of power reserve, but reality is that that's the chronometric power reserve. The watch will in fact run for about 7 days. It beats away at 21,600 vibrations per hour, and it's adjusted in a chronometer style 5 positions. It has a free spring architecture to help it hold that 5 position adjustment in the face of bumps and concussions on the wrist, and all this is water resistant down to 30 meters, so don't try to swim with it. It can do much, but it is not an aquatic timepiece. Circular Côte de Genève on the bridges, there's engine turn perlage on the base plate, satin graining on the wheels, a grand doge or barley corn on the rotor itself. And you can see that the case is individually numbered up to 99 pieces, but it's also double signed. It has the maker's mark of Eleanor, which was just outside of Paris. Case makers for FP Journe from his earliest pocket watches are to about 2008, when Eleanor was purchased by FP Journe, moved to Geneva, and became Boîtier de Genève, his in-house dial factory. So as a result, you have the Eleanor maker's mark on this case, but you also have both French and Swiss precious metal hallmarks. So it's a lovely double signed watch from the era of the Eleanor cases, the Ruthenium series, the brass movements, and I should mention the vast majority of brass movement FP Journe watches are rather petite, so this 40mm case gives you the best of both worlds. A rare and collectible early FP Journe brass movement watch, but with the later, more popular 40mm size that has a more substantial wrist presence for those with larger wrists or tastes in larger watches. You can see this collectible 99-piece FP Journe Octa Calendrier annual calendar, which needs only one adjustment per year during the jump from February to March, and make it yours on the Watchbox.